Niners are 2-0. They beat the Rams 9 straight regular season times. What's your big takeaway? 888-957-9570. To drive before halftime to flip the game, to flip the momentum. That was huge. A great call by Shanahan. The gall to go for it there on the last play of the first half. What about the gall to send Jake Moody on a rookie to say, you know what? Go ahead and kick a 57-yard field goal. Let me see what you got, son. Let me see what you got. We drafted you in the third round or just outside of the third round just so you could make these kicks, just to put you in this situation. And he nailed it. He nailed it. But a lot of people are talking about Brock Purdy. A lot of people are concerned about Brock Purdy's deep ball accuracy. 888-957-9570. What'd you think of Brock yesterday?
Well, so as we talk about Brock, I think one thing that I am, know from just 40 years of watching football, winning consistently in the NFL is extremely difficult. And so there are going to be weeks where you have to win ugly. In particular, and B, this is right up your alley because you say this every week in the NFL. Division games are different. They understand your scheme and your personnel better than anyone in the league. And now, yes, Brock has not played the Rams, but the Rams have played Shanahan's offenses for a long time. The playbook is the playbook. Now, are there some things that they're going to add and nuances and areas of the field that they're going to try to play toward Purdy's tendencies and what his strengths are? For sure. And that might be different from Jimmy's or before when it was Trey's or Nick Mullins or whomever. So I acknowledge all of that. But winning consistently is really difficult. And so to think that you're going to have A-plus performances week after week after week, if this is what his floor is, and I think that he'll have a bigger stinker than this at some point. Like it's inevitable, You're going to have a multi-interception game. Those happen. But you're down 7, and it felt like everything's constipated. Felt like they had more 3-and-outs than they've had in weeks past, or at least more punting opportunities offensively. And so if this is as bad as it's been thus far, sign me up. You win the game, you drop 30, you don't put the ball in harm's way, you don't take huge losses in terms of sacks, even though you were under pressure at times. Like, I thought he was really good in this game. Not great, but really good.
Yeah. What grade would you give Brock Purdy's performance from yesterday? That's our YouTube poll question of the day. A, B, C, D, or F? I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B.
It's right where I'm at.
Here's what Purdy said about his overthrows.
It's right where I'm at.
I just overthrew him. On the one to BA, the one Debo, and then JJ on that third down. Yeah, it's just those are on me. I got to be better. I got to hit him in stride and not overthrow him. Simple as that.
Shanahan was asked about it as well. Here's what Shanahan said.
I mean, I thought they were all tough ones. I think the Ayuk one was probably his toughest one because it was just his number one read and it just sailed a little bit. The one with Debo, I mean, he went all the way across the board in a really tough read, and you'd love him to hit it, but he did miss it. And the one to Jennings, that one didn't bother me much. We're a little surprised the ball was going there, and everyone else was covered. And he just tried to make a play, but the main thing he did today was protect the ball. Besides those 3 misses, which none of them were easy, but he took care of the football. Didn't give them a chance to touch it, and when he was under duress, he was smart.
See, Shanahan's assessment is exactly my assessment. Like on the Debo play, the final play, the safety, he uses his eyes to move him over, okay? If you're the quarterback to the right, he moves him over to the right. He's under duress. Like, we act like he had a clean pocket, he had all day to throw. He steps up in the pocket and throws a layered ball downfield. Yeah. Put a little more air underneath it. But we act like that's some layup throw. Now, maybe it is for certain quarterbacks, but he hit a couple of really nice, like, throw a guy open throws. The Jennings throw, which we've described. I thought he threw a really nice ball to Debo.
Let me play devil's advocate. Because I'm with you. I agree.
This is a hard throw.
McCaffrey, he had to step up. McCaffrey was right there making a block.
Yeah.
Lay it out in the middle, put some more air on it.
Just a little more air.
But now we don't have to ask questions about his arm strength. Their arm strength looks like his stare from toward UCL.
Just a little more touch.
Let me play devil's advocate, though, because a lot of stuff I saw that was coming back at me, because I'm with you here. That could be the difference in the game in December and January.
Okay.
Do you have confidence in him hitting that pass?
Well, he's going to have to. He's, to your point, B, when you play the elite personnel, so you don't play them weekly in the regular season, but when come playoff time, they're going to have to hit one of those kinds of plays because that's the difference. I mean, think about the Dallas game. The difference was a George Kittle, tip pass to himself or whatever that Purdy made. Like, yeah, it does come down to one or two of those plays. But I would also counter with, and I'm looking at the defensive side, and this is the part that to me is more concerning. When you get spread out and you've got 2 or 3 competent wide receivers and you're throwing the ball 50 times a game, that's the vulnerability on this defensive side. Right. But then I go, all right, how many offenses in the NFC? Forget the AFC.
Right.
In the NFC, Philly's the team. Philly's the team that can spread you out and kind of pick you apart.
Right.
Even though their drop-back passing game is a work in progress.
Different. Yeah, no doubt.
I look at AJ, I look at Devontae, I look at that personnel, and I'm like, that really worries me. They're going to have to iron that out.
And they don't go under center like the Rams do. Rams like to play under center. They'll go under center. They'll run their play-action passes. Eagles are predominantly in shotgun all day long. So how does, that's an interesting question. Where is this at? 510. Xfinity Mobile text.
Give it to me.
Might sound stupid, but how does one make their deep pass better? Is it just reps? Yes, I think it's just reps. You got to remember he didn't have an offseason with Debo and Brendan Ayuk.
At all.
He got worked into training camp. These are just reps, but a lot of practice reports are saying Brock Purdy does have deep ball inaccuracy. We saw it in the 2 practices we saw down at training camp. He needs reps, more repetition. And in the game, when the live bullets are flying, you just got to hit it. Well, you got to be able to hit it and see it and put some air on it. So that's something like the Ayuk double move. I saw that one. That at first, originally, I thought, did Ayuk just run slow because his shoulder's banged up? And then you watch it back on the broadcast, like, oh, no. Hey, Brock Purdy just overthrew him.
And he cooked him on the double move. Okello was sitting there eating grass or
double
turf.
Move reminded me of Diggs in Dallas in the wild card game. Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew that one. So I'm like, all right, Purdy, let's get rid of some of those traits. But to your point about making all the right reads, when I walked out of that game, I said, he missed a deep ball.
He did.
But there's not one read I would take back from Brock Purdy yesterday. I thought he made all the right throws, all the right reads, went through his progressions, and he did not throw an interceptable pass.
Well, the robber didn't get him. The underneath linebacker didn't get. You know what I mean? Like that was
right.
When I watched Jimmy again, and I'm comparing him to Jimmy because Jimmy was the winningest quarterback since Kaepernick. Let's compare him to a contemporary from this scheme. Jimmy consistently every 2 or 3 weeks would throw an underneath ball, if not once a game, would throw an underneath ball where you're like, he literally did not see that defender sitting there baiting him into that play.
Did he do that yesterday?
Oh, he did twice.
Raider fans, no.
He just held the ball.
One of my Raider fans, I saw a screenshot on the Instagram. All right, Jimmy, you got one more week or I'm going bad. I'm going bad. That's
funny. But like the Brock thing is interesting to me. We all agree he is money from like 12 to 15 yards, give or take, in. Right? Money on all those things in, for the most part. A couple little inaccuracies, whatever. But he's pretty close to perfect on the short stuff and the intermediate stuff. All right, the deep ball's not great. He's not going to be Justin Herbert.
No.
Like, we just have to come to the grips. And also, I'm not sure how many times a game, like, you are going to have to drive the ball down the field. Now, again, specific personnel, Philly, Dallas, you're going to have to drive it downfield. That's 18 weeks away.
Right.
Hypothetically.
I don't want my football team peaking in September and
October. That's what I'm saying.
I want them to work up to December and January and play, and I want them to play their best football in December and January. I don't want to play.
He's played 10 games.
I want them to be buttoned up, but so far, you've outscored 2 opponents 60-30.
That's what I'm saying.
You've doubled up on your opponents so far on the road. Now, technically, yesterday, I still think it was a home game because.
Well, it felt like they should have put up 40. If we're being real.
In both games.
Yes.
And they shut down the playbook in week 1, which I get.
We all get.
Yesterday, you left some points on the board.
I thought they left them on the board.
And you had 30 going away.
Yeah.
30 going away. Let's go to Chambry in Arizona. Chambry, what's happening?
Hey, fella, thank you. Appreciate you taking the call. Man,
anytime.
I'll give Purdy a solid B. Obviously, as you guys already pointed out, just a few little nitpicking things, but I think overtime set it good. Obviously, his game has never been the deep ball, but I don't think that this offense and Shanahan's style necessarily calls for that. So, again, you guys touch on it schematically and scheme fit. He just does what we need to do. I thought the Greenlaw penalty, as well as even the Jennings one, was kind of ticky-tacky. But I have loved over 2 weeks, and even in the preseason, just the aggressiveness that Shanahan has had this year. And I think it speaks volumes on what he thinks of Purdy.
I agree.
It's just been amazing to see that trust and belief in a quarterback in this system.
And you know what? I agree with the call. I agree with you, Shanbury. Now, although the Shanahans do like to go deep, I remember in the Super Bowl where John Elway under Mike Shanahan hit Ross Smith on the sick deep crosser.
One of the great undrafted players of all time.
I mean, come on. McCaffrey, deep post all day long in Denver, Colorado. So they do want to hit those deep shots. Those deep shots are available. You have to hit them. There's no doubt about that. But again, I'm going to go back to something Shannon Sharp said.
What's that?
I'm not the biggest Shannon Sharp fan on TV. He plays
Skip?
his role. Skip.
Keep saying Skip to Steven?
All the time. But he talked about playing for Mike Shanahan and knowing Cal since he was 12. And he said, patience is not in the Shanahan's vernacular. Patience is not in their DNA. And so if this continues, and I don't want to put that out there because I think Brock Purdy's playing fine football.
He's undefeated.
Solid football. He's undefeated. I mean, the Niners are averaging 32 points a game with him at quarterback. But if he doesn't hit those throws in December or January, we're a long way away. Long way away. The patience thing, I'm going to go back to. Because what is Shanahan, because he looked ticked off yesterday. That was the look he used to give Jimmy Garoppolo.
After the two misses. Yeah, he went right, like if I have the paper over my mouth, but you could see it through the play sheet.
He was seething. But, we're a long way away from that. So it's no reason to even go down that road. I'm not even going to go down that road. I apologize.
Well, okay, so no. It's I think it's a fair thing to speculate because look, the entirety of Jimmy G's career with the Niners, it was like, can they stretch the field? Teams are sitting down. The entirety of Alex Smith's career, can they stretch the field? Teams are sitting down. And when it got ugly, it was very obvious. Oh, they do not respect the opponent, does not respect you throwing past 10 yards at all. And it made things very congested. We'll see as teams adjust to Brock Purdy and as Brock Purdy adjusts to the league and as Shanahan goes. I love their clock management with no timeouts before halftime. At the end of the game, so they get the Diamond Lenore interception, okay? And I'm looking at it right here. It's 4:58 in the fourth quarter.
I didn't like that either.
So they're up 27-20, okay? Stafford's picked by Diamond Lenore. And to me, it's bleed clock, kick field goal minimum. At minimum, right? At minimum. And I get why they want to be aggressive in that situation, but you're starting to pin your ears back, and they're completely one-dimensional. They have a 3rd and 2.
Third and 3, yep.
3rd and 3.
Yep.
And I guess it's a hot route, little quick hitter that they're trying to dial up, and you knew the pressure was coming. The clock stops. It's like 3 minutes to go.
Right.
And that if I'm nitpicking, forget the Brock missed overthrow, whatever. Winning time. Run the rock right then and there.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Timeout.
Click the 35 seconds off. You're going to go for the field goal no matter what. That's my only nitpicking when it comes to the aggression of Shanahan. Only one. And it feels absurd saying out loud.
I'm with you there. No, I was a little frustrated with that sequence.
The sequence wasn't great.
But look, that's good. You got something to clean up on.
Yes.
You got something to clean up on. But overall, I thought Purdy was very solid. Again, would you rather have incompletions or interceptions? I mean, honestly,
pretty obvious.
Like it's pretty obvious, right? Would you rather have a guy who's not putting the ball in harm's way? There's not one time I thought, oh no, why'd you throw that?
I agree.
I did not do that one time in a football game.
He didn't look rattled at all.
So personally, for the first 2 games, and I know Patrick Peterson had the little undercut, but I didn't even freak out about that. 2 games into the season, I haven't said, oh no, why did Brock throw that? I haven't said that one time. I would do that 6 times a game with Jimmy.
Yes.
6 times a game. Oh, my God. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, boy, you got bad, Jimmy, today. Like, Brock Purdy has not thrown one interceptable ball this season. So what are we really doing?
Well, and the one
what
thing
are we doing as a fan base? I just don't get it.
You know what we're doing? We're salivating over a Lombardi. That's what we're doing. And so any little deficiency is going to be magnified. It's not fair. I'm just telling you what the fan base is doing. They expect perfection. And that, to me, is... Come on, it's the NFL. You know how hard it is to win in the NFL? Ask Sean McVay. Ask Sean McVay how
divisional opponent. Again, I will say this till I'm blue in the face.
We're 2-0.
Divisional games are just weird. They're different.
They are.
Did you watch Miami and New England last night?
Miami should have blown them out.
Right.
And it just hung around.
So, anyway, let's get to the lines.
By the
here.
way,
Starting to
speaking
line
of,
up.
would you rather have Justin Fields or
Oh, my
Mac
gosh.
Jones and like Max? I think Max is the best of these other guys, but Mac's not great. Would you rather have Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones right
my
now?
gosh.
Niner fans, like, be
You'd
realistic.
rather have Brock Purdy.
Of course. And I think those organizations would rather have Brock Purdy.
Right.
Forget what the Niners would do. I think those organizations would also as well. Justin Fields look horrible.
He's not good right now. He's regressed. He is regressed. Brock